We're here for round 2 of the Hit the Deck friendly tournament. On the play here, Goose Borrower, Krasis, looks good to me. Again, do not know what our opponents are playing or anything, because it is just kind of a friendly tournament. Didn't have to submit deck lists, can change things in between rounds and stuff. This is mostly just supposed to be for like testing and figuring out the format and everything, so it's pretty cool. The goose is loose. For some reason, makes a cawing noise instead of a honk, which doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Alright, so could just jam Borrower, and I think we'll leave that option open for us. Could also use it to bounce something, or could just make a food depending on what happens. So I think it's worth paying the 2 life. The Temple of Epiphany decks are generally a little bit slower, and this is maybe like Grixis Reanimator. Assume you would not play Rick's Mighty Reveler without playing black. So, I think we just jam the creature. There's certainly some merit to saving Borrower for Drakaseth. But let's fight him instead. Yep, there's the black mana, Royal Scions.
Let me synthesize the facts.
There's Iron Crag Feet. So opponent has backup plan of just casting Drakaseth. Could also be using that to power out like Chandra, Awakened Inferno. So here, I think I want to just jam Krasis for 2. And do I actually care about the Scions? I could kill it over 2 turns. I don't think I really care. Like, obviously the filtering is very important for them, and having a discard outlet matters too. If they had hit Drakaseth already, I definitely would care less about this. But just having to kill it over 2 turns means we miss out on 7 points of damage, so I think it's more important to actually try and get them dead. I mean, obviously I'm going to have to ping this at some point to make sure they don't ult, but... And so they had another feat. I mean, they could have drawn that off the Scions, but it's possible that they had that and are just looking for a big card. Foil the Borrower, so that would have made it so we can't kill the Scions anyway. So now we can Garen Brig and play either a big Krasis or a big Voracious Hydra. So I can make a 5/5 Krasis, which would put it out of Drakaseth range. And like, it has evasion and gives us maybe like a little bit more gas for next turn, so I think Krasis is a little bit better. Normally you want this to be like the last card you play out of your hand. So we're gonna go X's 5. Get our blue mana from the goose. And it's possible this is supposed to be the turn where we ping the Scions.
I think I have made a tactical
Just to like get that out of the way. And if our opponent untaps and like kills both our Krasises and then they have Scions on 8, that's really bad for us. Alright, so discarded Bond, so likely has a Bond, just needs to find a big thing. And they're still digging. And this is kind of the problem with this deck. It's like obviously very cool and very good if you get to bonds out Drakaseth and attack and wipe your opponent's board and everything, but if you don't actually find Drakaseth, it's a pretty big problem. So now we could Brig, Voracious, and then kill a Rixmati, but then they can still block the Voracious next turn. So I think we're just making another Hydroid. Another 5/5. So I suppose we should do that first. This gives us a pretty clear 2-turn clock, whereas if we played Voracious, killed Rixmati, the other one could just chump this next turn. Well, I guess it has trample, but...
A quest of mystery.
Soak up some of that damage. Okay, so Scions discarded Drakaseth, so now they get to reanimate that this turn, but I don't actually... Like, we have these 5-power things, right? So it's, like, not even that big of a deal. Scions is at 7. Yeah, so they can't even really do anything, right? It's like they block a 5/5, still take 7. Alright. So Grixis definitely wants some amount of negates. I could see a decent amount of Aether Gust too, because it's an answer to Drakaseth and Chandra. So actually, like, maybe the negates are not that good. I mean, we could counter Ironcrag Feat and maybe some removal, some sweepers or whatever. But yeah, I could basically see an argument for any of these cards, because if they reanimate something or play Chandra, we could mass manipulation it. Obviously, quad blue is not easy, and if they're killing our mana creatures, it makes it even more difficult. Veil of Summer, our opponent's going to have some removal, but we saw some red removal in game 1 in Lava Coil, and then if we're like... If they transition into more of a control deck, Tamiyo is very good as a source of card advantage and everything. But I think it's pretty easy to cut. Voracious Hydras, Wicked Wolf can get shaved on a little bit. Definitely want to keep the Brazen Borrowers. Can shave the Once Upon a Times. I think I want Mass Manipulation. I think that's probably one of the better answers to what they're trying to do. Maybe Aether Gust is just better, though. So now we're mostly relying on Nissa and Krasis for our late game, which could be kind of tough. I mean, they could have Thought Erasure, which is almost certainly in their deck, and maybe we just end up being like a little bit threat light, so... Could see maybe wanting some Tamiyos, and like Tamiyo digging for Aether Gust could just give us a lot of insulation against their combo and everything. So if we keep some wolves to kill Rixmati and Tomebound Lich, if they have that, then our Tamiyo should be at a pretty high loyalty. So yeah, I think... Oh no, I ran out of time. Too much talking. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I didn't get to sideboard. Oh well, thankfully our hand is gas. There needs to be like this big thing that just like flashes and it's like, yo, hurry up, stupid. Because I've done that multiple times. Alright, don't really want another temple. Already have another ETB tap land in Brig unless we draw a forest, so gonna Druid on 2, maybe Borrower Goose on 3. If we get an untapped land, but do another temple. Oh well. Alright, throw away Drakaseth. So we gotta be ready for that, so maybe have to keep Borrower open on turn 5.
Let me synthesize.
But then again, I mean, for keeping open 2 mana, this doesn't like disguise itself very well, right? Because this could also just be a negate or Disdainful Stroke or something. So we drew Oko, that's great. Still cannot deploy the Goose this turn.
I think a little merriment is in order.
Definitely don't need the 4th temple. Are we getting Moto bugged here? No, they're allegedly still at the bottom.
I will learn what nobody yet knows.
No forest for Nissa either? That's pretty awkward. Yep, Erasure's in the deck. We have a couple ways to start attacking the Scions, so that's good. They took Nissa, not Borrower. That's interesting. Very interesting. Don't kill my druid. Don't do it. Grasp, yeah, that's...
Follow in your deceit.
That is one of the best sideboard cards right now. Okay. So we could be a coward and just play Paradise Druid and hold open Borrower. I think we kind of have to do that, even though it doesn't really look like this is what we should be doing. This is a good sideboard plan. That's really nice.
What is my strategy here?
So we could Borrower back the Pyromancer and hit the Scions. If we don't do that and we just attack the Scions, then both of these are able to get shot down by the Pyromancer. But I guess if that goes poorly, we could just Borrower the Scions too, so I don't know. Maybe I should have just borrowed the Scions and then made a big Krasis. That might have made more sense. Because now I'm kind of in a spot where I have to play Krasis for 2. Yeah, and if they have Thrill here, it's very bad. I guess I don't have to play Krasis this turn. I can just attack the Scions. Hope that goes through. Play out 2 geese.
Are you okay?
Oh, I think so.
And then one of my things is going to get shot down for sure with the Pyromancer. Yeah, this is very clearly very cowardly, and they know it too because of my hand. So, kind of the nice thing about these decks, like you get the old Splinter Twin effect, right? Where it's like, oh, if they have Bond or Revival, then I have to keep open mana to do my thing, and they just might not have the Bond, or they can choose to do other stuff. So, whereas my opponent was a normal deck and didn't have like this kind of combo, then I would just be free to do my normal game plan. Just be like tapping out every turn. And I'm still a little bit wary of bringing in Veil here because they have so much red removal, especially the Pyromancers and everything. Pyromancer means I'm going to have to bring the Wolves back in, though. Well, I guess I have 4 in my deck because I didn't get to sideboard, so maybe maybe that was actually a good thing. I don't know. Arena trying to save me from myself. Oh, Oko's another way to deal with the Pyromancer, so that's cool. So we make 6, 7, 8. So we could Krasis for 6. It's pretty decent. Pretty decent. much clicking with the goose and the foods. I'm counter this because I want the body. Voracious Hydra's not bad. Can make 9 mana next turn, so Hydra could potentially shoot down Drakazeth if they don't attack for whatever reason. But oh no. Alright, so they've gone through everything. Yeah, don't attack with the Fire Match. You don't want to do that. Ooh, Wicked Wolf. That's good. Okay. So what are we doing this turn? Can Garen Brig up to 6. This would give us 7. We kind of want this to attack this. So we could Wolf fight this. Have 4 mana left over for the Hydra, so that's not quite enough. So we probably need to, like, Oko something. I think I'm too dumb to figure this out. Yeah, I only have 3 mana left over. Alright, so I Wolf. Fight the Reveler. Let that resolve. I have to sack this to play Oko. And then I have to make my Goose a 3/3. And both at Scion, which I hope that works out.
Stay away from my brother.
Might have been something better I could do that turn.
Let me synthesize the facts.
Or maybe I should just not be ignoring this as much, especially since they have Pyro, but... Alright, so Wolf down. It's definitely good for our opponent. We can still Hydra, fight the Pyro. Obviously, if they return Drakazeth, this turn's really bad for us. No, just a land. Okay. Alright, so what do? I think we do this. Garen Brig. That's 6. We make X is 6. Fight the Pyro. Oko to power up our other Goose, and then we can take down the Scions, finally. Although this is another turn where it's like, oh, well, maybe we should just go face because we have 2-turn lethal, but... This kind of feels safer. Coil my Goose. Yeah, so if they didn't have a removal spell, we could still lethal with Oko on Hydra. So now do we want to get in 3 extra points? I guess the trample's relevant. And we still have 2-turn lethal, so I'll just make a food here. I don't think I played this game particularly well.
You must be famished.
And it all started with just not sideboarding. Yeah, our opponent's got 33 cards in their deck and did not draw a bond. It's possible that they just boarded out some number of bonds, but that's gonna do it. Just green-blue things fighting our way to victory.